in.
Navigating today's real estate market can be tricky. Want to buy or sell a house, finance or insure a house, or stuck with a house and don't know what to do? Florida Talk Real Estate has been your local one-stop real estate shop since 2012. Get the advice you need from your local real estate pros. Here are your hosts, Jim DePola and Johnny C. live on Real Radio.
That's right. It's a Saturday morning. That means it's time for another edition of Florida Talk Real Estate. We give you 2 hours of infotainment every Saturday morning here on Real Radio, whether you're listening on 92.1, 101.7. If you have your free download, your iHeartRadio app, that means we are worldwide, and we go live streaming as well. Facebook. If you're looking on Facebook, you're watching on Florida Talk Real Estate's Facebook page. Maybe you're on YouTube. You can find us there as well. Florida Talk Real Estate LLC. We stream the show live on both those platforms. Thanks for joining us out the gates on this Saturday morning. It is a toll-free number if you want to be part of the program with your questions, comments, concerns in the world of real estate. Don't be shy. Go ahead and dial 877-927-6969. Jimothy will line you up, and we'll get you on the air, hopefully get the answers that you are looking for. I'm pretty confident in that because we always got a pretty high-powered team assembled. The Florida Talk Real Estate team is well-versed in many ways, and we have good representation every Saturday here. Let's go ahead and get your starting lineup. Of course, I'm your boy, Johnny C., your air traffic control. Let's say good morning to Mike Rao, the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm. Hello, Michael. How are you this morning?
What is up, Johnny C.? Doing great this morning.
I'm glad to hear that. Nice to see you as always.
How are you?
I'm what do they say? Over the weather? No, it's under the weather, right?
Oh,
yeah.
I guess over the weather would be recovering from a weather event.
Yeah. No, I'm super sinusy this morning, but you know what? There's others suffering far more than I am, so I'm doing fantastic.
I had to have a similar conversation to that with somebody this week, where I had to put things in perspective just a little bit. You know, in a genuine way.
That's right.
We had a good conversation.
Is that what you're using? Like when rates go up, you're like, dude, it could be worse.
No.
Right.
Although maybe I should.
Framing it right is very important in life. And look, we can't always give you great news. You know, sometimes we have to give you bad news. And man, it feels like Ross has been telling us nothing but bad news for the last 2 years. But the good news is we can always lean on Ross. I'm talking about Ross Camaronets with Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach, y'all. Good morning, Ross. How are you, my friend?
Juno Beach. That's right. Good morning, everybody. Hey, are we broadcasting on MySpace still or no?
I don't know. I don't know if we still have the MySpace going or not.
Oh, okay, because that's where I go to get my news.
I don't think our streaming service merges well with the MySpace.
Okay.
Might be some of our.
Good morning, everybody. Check me out on MySpace.
What is that? Just Ross K, Juno Beach on MySpace?
Something like that.
Something like that.
I just love how you can customize the page to make it your own, you know?
I never had a MySpace page, actually, if I'm being honest.
Well, let's be honest. I didn't either. I don't think anybody listening did, truly. Well, maybe let's find out. Let's ask Jimmy D. Y'all, this is my guy, Jimmy D. You can call him Jimmy D. But if you want to be really formal, we'll call him Jim DePola, leader of a top-producing Keller Williams team with Keller Williams Innovations. It's the Florida Home Pros team, y'all. Jimmy D, how you be? Do you have MySpace?
That's what I was just going to say, Johnny. Good morning, everybody. Happy South Florida. I'm going to tell In-House Creation, the video guys that do all our stuff for our YouTube channel here, to get on MySpace, get on AOL.com emails. Got to get those going. So start working on that right away, guys. Okay.
I just went to myspace.com. And when you go to look for people, it says sign in with your Facebook account. So you can create a MySpace, log in with your Facebook account.
Oh my God, I didn't even know it was still around at all.
Looks like it's music central, kind of yeah, it's a bunch of musicians on here.
Yeah, I think that's what it was designed for originally, and good. I'm glad that it's working out for them.
We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Some fun things like There was a house in California that they've had on the market. It was supposedly the most expensive home in the United States. It was $500 million is what they were asking for it. $500 million for this house in California. It finally sold. They called the house and advertised it for 10 years. They called it the one, right? Now I call it the 1/4. We'll talk about that later, which I just think is hilarious. We're going to talk about dead bodies in the backyard. Does that hurt your property values or not? We're going to find out about that today. And find out from Ross Kamaranets if we need extra insurance for that or not. And then we're going to talk about, on a more serious note, we're going to talk about the interest rates in the national economy and how that might be affecting us down here, good, bad, and different, South Florida. And we're also going to talk about like my week this week. It was a very interesting week of all the different people I met. And they all had the same question. I'm thinking about buying, or I'm thinking about selling, or I'm thinking about doing both. And I'm not sure if I should do it or not. And I had 3 really great consultations this week with 3 completely different situations. And we're going to touch on that and talk about how you can make the decision about whether it's a good time or not a good time to do any of those things, either buy or sell and buy. We're going to talk a little bit about how you can do that. And if it's good and if it's the right decision for you, because sometimes the answer is probably maybe not. Sometimes that's the right answer. Other times it's got to do it today. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And we're also, if we can get to it this week, what we're going to do is also talk about buyers trying to get a house and they're getting beat out, and the technique you can use in order to get the house that you want, but looking at the house buying process in a different way. And that might get you the house you want with the results you want, but not in the way you thought it was going to happen. And we're going to talk about that too, because the buyer's market right now is just brutal. But people are selling and buying properties all the time. And we put 2 buyers under contract this week. So it is not happening. Okay. So don't listen to people saying you can't buy a house. If you want to buy a house and you're qualified and you're realistic on your expectations of what the market is offering you at this time, we can help you. Okay.
Beautiful. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com, y'all. It's FloridaTalkRealEstate.com.
Thanks. Wanted to just talk about our YouTube channel. I'd really appreciate anybody that can go over to our YouTube channel, like the page, follow the page, subscribe to the channel. We have tons of videos out there. We're going to be putting more and more stuff out. This week, we're going to start uploading a whole bunch of videos. A lot of them are going to be videos like, what can you get in Lake Worth for $455,000? Or what can you get in Boca Raton for $1.5 million? And there'll be those kind of videos. But we're also going to have some information-packed videos. Like one of the things we're going to talk about is, and I'm going to talk about this with Mike in a future show, but do those mortgage calculators work or not when you're going on the website, you're trying to figure out what's going on? Because, when you use those, there's a couple tips and tricks in order to get the most accurate results on those mortgage calculators that people need to know, right? So if you're going shopping for a house and you're thinking about trying to set your budget and you don't want to call the mortgage offices yet, and you're using those mortgage calculators, at least use it in the right way. So you're trying to get the most accurate information so that by the time you go to the mortgage company, you're not totally shocked that you have different results. Because that happens, Mike, right? How many times have you said, what's my interest rate? Because Zillow's mortgage calculator said.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I didn't know if I was answering that or not. Yeah, you get that all the time. So people see rates, and my question is, well, where did you see that? And it's like, well, you see it everywhere, right? Like, but it's all on the stuff that's put in front of you, right? Not the stuff that you're seeking out. And I think in order to get a real rate, you kind of have to go seek it out. And, you talk to somebody like me and you get your credit analyzed, and, all of those things go into the rate. And it's, Johnny, I'm sure, you have a mortgage, right? You own a home. You probably get a bunch of junk mail that whether it's email or phone calls or texts or the traditional mail that just, they have these rates on them. So
It's
yeah,
unbelievable.
if it's being presented to you like that, then it's probably you need to look you need to squint your eyes and look pretty close.
Well, the real tell should always be like, are they pulling my credit? Because if they're not doing any of that and looking at debt to income, it can't be anywhere close to any validity to the numbers they're throwing at you.
It could be.
Well, I guess they could probably get lucky, right?
Clock is right twice a day.
Yeah, no, you're right. Even a broken one, right?
Hey, I want to switch gears because this to me is fascinating. Do you remember a couple weeks ago we talked about how Zillow lost $880 million last year in their home buying process, and they shut down their iBuyer program, and they said no mas, right? Well, I'm going to tell you something interesting that I just read yesterday. Do you know how many homes they had when they said no mas and they decided they're not going to be an iBuyer anymore? 17,000 homes across the country they had in their inventory when they shut down their home buying. And when you call it iBuyers, what you really should call it is iFlipper, because that's exactly what they're doing. They're flipping the property. So this is all like just like we buy houses fast for cash kind of companies. They're not really that much different than those type of companies in a way. But the bottom line is they had 17,000 homes that they hadn't sold yet on their books when they showed that fourth quarter loss last year, the year loss, and shut down their iBuy program. Go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say there was one major difference between Zillow's iBuyer flipping activities and the traditional we buy.
Well, yeah, but let's not get into that yet because that isn't the only one. Okay, I want to get into that, but I'm trying to set the stage here. Okay, so that's Zillow. Okay, then I started reading. That got me start thinking. Well, whatever happened to Open Door and Redfin and Compass, the brokerage that was the tech brokerage, right? That offered us 6 figures to leave Keller Williams just to go over to their brokerage. Compass did. They offered us 6 figures. We're not the biggest team around. And to give us 6 figures just to move, that was pretty crazy to me as far as I was concerned, right? So
wait, was it low 6 figures, mid 6 figures, or high 6 figures?
I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get into it, but it was 6 figures. Okay. So okay, we passed. Okay, so Zillow, $881 million, right? Right, a loss in 1 year in the hottest real estate market ever. Their real estate company side of Zillow lost $881 million, right? Then you had Open Door, right, which is another iBuying program still around. In the last 4 years, they have lost $1.5 billion in their home buying selling program, Open Door, in 4 years, $1.5 billion. Now, I apologize. I screwed up. Zillow had 7,000 homes on their inventory when they said no mas. Open Door has 17,000 homes right now, and they've already lost $1.5 billion, and they got 17,000 more homes they got to deal with. Okay, Compass lost $1.5 billion as a real estate brokerage in the best real estate market in the history of the United States.
I was going to say that were we in the middle of a big declining market for these guys?
This is during the good times, guys.
Well, what I don't understand is how are they losing? They have all these properties. So it's kind of like saying, toxic loans when we had our collapse. Like,
go ahead, Ross. I think I know what you're going to say.
I bought one of those Zillow properties back
I forgot about that. That's right.
It sold for Zillow bought it for $275 or $277. Excuse me. Zillow bought it for $277, and I bought it from Zillow for $265.
Oh, that's how.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they had to pay commissions.
And they had to pay commissions and closing costs and carry costs, and they had to fix the house up a little bit. Probably got a paint job, maybe new flooring or something, Ross, or was it as is?
I mean, it was as is. It was the same.
Okay, because usually they do a paint job and they do minimal. They don't buy like most of these iBuyer programs. They're only going to buy homes like 10 years or newer. and usually, okay, and a couple other things. They're not buying the really super beat up homes, right? That they don't want to touch that. They want the light cosmetic rehab, if anything, put it back on the market. Why? The average amount of money, I was doing some calculations based on this article. The average amount of money Zillow was making gross profit on the purchases they were making was about 6,600 gross profit before all their costs,
And you're
right? They
saying
were
the
making
difference
66
between what they bought it at and what they sold it at.
right, was about $6,600. There's no way they're making money, right? So now, but now here's even the more interesting thing. So what did Zillow and Open Door do when they had these thousands and thousands of homes? I'm sorry, what did Zillow do? Because Open Door is still in business on this, right? Open Door is still saying they're going to do great. Open Door is like, oh, we lost $1.5 billion in the best real estate market ever. We're going to keep going because we know what we're doing. Have fun with that. So,
and I feel like there's also other companies entering the market. I see them on like advertisements. It's like more and more companies are trying to do this same thing.
I'm not saying we're going to go through a crash, but when we were about to go into the crash in late 05, 06, that's when all those crazy get rich quick scheme brokerages and investment companies started popping up. They always come in too late, right? They should have came in like 3 years ago, but Zillow and them did. That's the interesting part. So anyway, you won't believe what Zillow did. It made my mouth drop with the 7,000 homes. What do you think they did? So they said, hey, you know what, people, we don't want to be a buyer seller anymore. We're going to shut down this thing, but we got 7,000 homes, board of directors, right? For Zillow. What are we going to do with these 7,000 homes?
Rent them.
Airbnb is all the rage.
Yeah.
Okay. Nope, because they wanted out. Okay, so that was a good one. That's a good answer, but they didn't do that. So what else could they do besides rent them?
Sell
Sell them, but then how are you going to sell them?
them. Go to floridatalkrealestate.com.
Oh, you're good, Johnny.
Well, I know that
gotta give you a
they have
buzz
active homes listed that they're selling with real estate agents. Jim, I got one yesterday. Someone is making an offer. They paid $495 for it in November of 2021. They got it listed at 500,000. Now they got 30 offers, so I'm sure that they're making more than their list price. But that's actively listed with the local real estate agent.
Well, the great majority of these homes, they sold it off as a portfolio to investment firms. That's the thing I found totally
Wholesale.
surprising.
Wow.
And then the article I was reading about this said, so the investment firms have to figure out what to do with the mess. They don't have a mess. Let me tell you why.
They bought it cheap.
Zillow hired real estate agents, like Mike is saying a little bit, like a regular real estate agent, not a Zillow agent, because look what Zillow agents did to them. They were the ones represented the properties that didn't sell at the right price. If they hired real agents, if Zillow came in and said, hey, Keller Williams, we have 5,000 homes we need to sell across the country. Why don't you go out there and find out how to maximize the most money on each of these homes? And we'll pay you a reasonable real estate commission, and we'll offer a real estate commission to the outside, which they're already doing anyway, right? They would have made more money, because we've been telling you forever that the iBuyer program, the average seller loses 9% over hiring a real estate agent. So even if the agent's fee is 6%, right? Going, kind of rough industry stand right now. At 6%, you're still making 3% more, and you didn't have to deal with any of the headaches of selling the house. You let the realtors deal with that, right? So if they just went out and put them on the market with realtors,
They
they
can
would
make
have
more
made
money.
way more money than selling it off as a portfolio. I guarantee that.
I mean,
And that's why Zillow stinks as being a brokerage.
look
And
at this one, Jim.
if you think that you're going to Zillow to get your property sold, like some people actually hire Zillow to sell their property. My opinion is, look at the stats of this company and what's happening. And that's what you're putting your biggest investment in the hands of. What? And you think you're saving money? but you're probably not. Because Zillow doesn't even have a track record. They have a track record of selling homes for 9% lower than what agents in the same area are doing. Is that funny or what? I'm sorry. I'm just amazed that these big tech companies spent billions. These are all publicly traded companies. These are all publicly traded companies that said, we're going to make a killing in this market. Let us open up into not just reporting on what's out there, but let us be in the real estate market where we're buying and selling homes. And this is what's happened. And they're screwing over all our inventory.
I was going to say, not only are they not good at it, but they're really screwing everybody that's trying to buy a house. Yeah.
Well, they're also screwing their bread and butter clients. Right. Because Zillow is as successful as it got because it received monthly subscription dollars from real estate agents. Right. Like Jim, that's how Zillow became a successful company, is selling, not advertising, but selling zip codes. Right. They would place your name as the agent in front of homes. Right. They had a lot of traffic and they say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Real Estate Agent, we got a lot of traffic. You want your name to be on the list. Pay us this amount per month, right? That's how they built their business, and then they pivoted to cutting out the real estate agents. Like, how's that ever going to make sense?
What they wanted to do, what all the companies, even Keller Williams wants to do this. Keller Williams wants to do this, right? They all want to be the one-stop real estate shop, right? That's what they want to be. I'm being honest, okay?
Yeah.
Seems like a good goal. What's wrong with that?
I know, right? Right. Well, but see, here's the difference. They want to make the money from all of the different fields, right? With our team, everybody makes their own money, right? Ross makes the money when he does the insurance. That's it. You make the money when you do the mortgages and the refis. That's it. I make the money if somebody buys or sells a property. We're not mixing and matching and trying to make money off of each other. We're trying to service our...
Ross does have his real estate license, so he's trying to cut in on your part of it, Jim.
Yeah. Well, he did well.
When Mike sends me over a contract, I usually have my transaction coordinator call them to see if we can somehow get it back into my name. So I don't know if you've lost any, but
I was thinking about getting my insurance license. Ross, can you give me any tips, any pointers?
Don't do it.
Yeah. So the thing is that's the difference, is like our one-stop real estate shop is because we're all professionals in our field and we know that we can trust everybody and that we try to give great customer service and give the right information and not make any promises we can't keep. With these one-stop real estate shops, they're trying to do everything virtual. This is not a virtual business.
Nope.
Okay. So you can watch videos all day long on a house and then click a button that you're making an offer on it. But when you walk in and it smells like a dump, right? Or you walk in and there's mold all over the place or something, you can't do that on a computer. When you're arguing over a roof that might almost be past its useful life, but not, okay? You can't do that on a computer. And the agents that are with these tech companies are hired as employees. They're not like regular agents that go out and do all the things that regular agents do. So many of them don't last as long as regular agents, which not a lot of regular agents last for very long either. So what you're doing is you're dealing usually with people that haven't done a lot of volume. So they haven't been involved in a lot of negotiations or sticky wicket situations and how to deal with things, right? And they don't know how to handle it. And deals, don't get done because of that. So I just think it's really interesting with all of this stuff going on. This is the best real estate market in the history of the United States right now, as far as volume and numbers. I'm not saying it's like, I wish the market would change into more of a stable market, but for 8 years, we've been doing very well. And if these companies can't make money now, it's totally crazy that they think they're going to make money when the economy turns. And the last thing I just wanted to say about this, what happens, how they get all these homes, how they're getting the homes they're getting, is as soon as you try to put your house on Zillow or a realtor does it, they automatically offer you a price. And if you just go into their search the address, they ask you if you're an owner and do you want an automatic offer, a Zillow offer, or an open door offer as soon as you plug in the information on the address. So they say, hey,
You're
are
like,
you the
sure, why
owner?
not?
Do you
Yeah.
want to offer? So a lot of people click yes. And then it becomes all this hard marketing, right? Hard sell marketing about all the benefits. You don't have the inconvenience of opening up your house to a bunch of strangers. We'll give you plenty of time to sell in the future,
Don't
right?
have to pay commissions.
Right. Yeah, your commissions are so low, right? All this stuff. You don't have to worry about anything. We'll take care of everything, right? But before they even walk into the house, they're already taking off money for repairs, right? Their closing costs are high, right? For how they deal with you. And it ends up costing you about 9% more than if you were to hire a real estate agent. I don't know about you, but if I were selling even a $500,000 house, that's $45,000. Okay. Who would want to walk away from $45,000? I mean, I think the great majority of people wouldn't do that.
Nope.
But they're not told that way. They're told like, oh, why go through the headache of all this stuff, right? Now we close with seller buyers all the time, and we don't have them do any of that, and they get top dollar for their houses. Mike?
I was going to say there might have been some people who took advantage of Zillow's maybe being a little bit loosey-goosey with their estimates, right? Because maybe they did get the highest sale in the neighborhood with Zillow, as the buyer, right? And right, like take Ross's example, like they probably overpaid and they went and they undersold it to Ross. So maybe some, like during that time when Zillow was just their calculations were a little bit wrong. Maybe they overpaid.
The buyers didn't do bad on the price necessarily, because according to the statistics, those companies were paying about 3% too high. We were talking about it last year. How are they making any money? They're paying 3% above appraised value. And what their bet was, two things. Number one, that the market would continue to grow. They built appreciation, and that didn't happen yet as part of their investment philosophy. Well, if I buy the house today, if I keep it for 4 months, it's going to increase by 3.5%, right? Then the second mistake they made was that the construction, which I'm laughing about, they have problems with contractors, just like anybody else renovating houses. And the contractors are costing more money and taking too long, right? So then they're spending more money on that. Right.
Those both seem like rookie mistakes for flippers. Those seem like
exactly. That's exactly what's happening.
Well, and if they're working like within a same neighborhood though, and like similar type homes, I don't know how really widespread they are, but if they do chunks in certain areas, they can actually manipulate those appraisals, right? So Johnny, you pay high, and next thing you know, the last 3 sales in this neighborhood were way higher than they should be. That means, you're bumping appraised values up for these homes you're buying, which feels illegal, but I guess not.
Johnny, we heard talk of that, but I don't know. I mean, it can't have worked because they're bailing out of it. They're like, they realized they
right. Or maybe they didn't do that neighborhood attack.
Yeah, and they did, Johnny. You're 100% right. You nailed it on the head. Zillow isn't everywhere. They only pick certain markets, and then within those markets, they kind of did micro hunts, right? Because they have the algorithms. The one thing that Zillow has, even though I don't know how they can't price your house right, their algorithms are pretty accurate, big picture wise. When it comes down street to street, that's where they kind of fall down, because that's where you need the agent to really tell you, I know all the houses in this general area only going for $550. But your house isn't on the cul-de-sac and not on the water. And therefore, and there's like little changes, and that could be 10, 15,000 here, 20,000 here, and they miss the market. So the thing is with these companies, they really, when it comes to being portals for information about neighborhoods and what's going on around there and pretty pictures of the properties that are on the MLS, but you can't get otherwise, right? They're pretty good. But when it comes to actually being a person that you're trusting to help buy or sell a property, I think the results speak for themselves. right? And why would you do that? It's almost like if you're buying a car, why back in the day, because I can't think you guys are going to laugh at me, but why would you buy the Corvair, right? Do you remember the Corvair back in the 60s? That car was like a firebomb.
Never heard of it.
It's like, if you're going to go out and buy a new car, why would you buy the firebomb?
We call that a dated reference.
A very dated reference. Yeah.
I feel like my mom actually owned a Corvair at some point. I'll have to. I think she did actually. I'll have to look it up.
Anyway, this Zillow thing is very weird. This Zillow Open Door Compass, Redfin took a loss of I don't know. I think Redfin is the one that says they're doing great. Redfin only lost like 141 million last quarter.
Crushed
I lost 141 million. I'm doing pretty good. We're still sticking around.
Jim,
Zillow hasn't gotten any better since August, because I just happened to look up like one of their properties and then look it up on the MLS. In October of last year, they paid $337 for a property, and in January they sold it for $330.
Hey, congratulations! Now check this out, Ross. This is I want to leave on this because it just reminded me that you bought a Zillow property, right? After you bought the property for less than what they paid for it, right? Then what kind of calls were you getting a few months after you bought the property?
Well, yeah, I mean, I had people calling me I threw out an outlandish number and they were like, all right, okay, yeah, all right, that may sound good.
Can you imagine? Zillow buys some for 300. Then they go, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to sell it, so I'm going to sell it for 295. And then 4 months later, the owner of the new owner of the property is getting people begging him to these are fake numbers, but begging him, I'll give you 350 right now. Right? Yeah. And Zillow had to sell it for 295 4 months early. They don't know what they're doing. They should just hire agents. If they just hired real agents, good agents to sell their property, they probably wouldn't even be in the hole right now.
So we can wrap up this whole segment conversation about the losses from these iBuyer programs to say, look, pull the stats, have them show you what their production is, how they're making money for their buyers and getting in for their buyers at the right levels, making a bunch of money for their sellers. Those stats are kept, and they should be talked about very readily for people that know their numbers and do well for their customers. They don't want to discuss when maybe they don't. Pull those numbers. When you're vetting your agents, pull those numbers. That's, I think, the moral of the story here. Jim DePola, his entire team with Florida Home Pros, never going to hesitate to sit you down and pull our stats. Right, Jim?
Absolutely. I did it 6 times last week in people's houses. Opened up my stats, says, here's what I'm doing.
That's right. Never going to hesitate. That is the sign of somebody that is confident in what they can do for you and can show you the track record. You should expect that when you're going to move into one of the biggest purchases you're ever going to make in your life. Even if you're quote unquote seasoned at buying homes, you still want to work with the best of the best. Nobody wants to leave money on the table when you're selling, and nobody wants to overpay when you're buying. If you do, hey, iBuyers might be for you. If you don't, FloridaTalkRealEstate.com gets you to the entire team. Team of pros are experts in their field. We call it the one-stop real estate shop for a reason, because you get access to an amazing team at FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. What do we got coming up, Jimmy D?
On the flip side, we're going to talk about how the one became 1 quarter. And then after that, we're going to talk about the interest rates in the economy, because that's very complicated right now. A lot of uncertain times out there. And
we got that coming at you in 4 minutes from now. Great to have you with us every single Saturday. Hang tight. 4 minutes from now, we get back to more infotainment. That's information and a little bit of entertainment. 2 hours of it every Saturday, 9 until 11, right here on Real Radio.
What's a Real Radio podcast? It's Real Radio on demand. Find your favorite show at realradio921.com.
This is Chris Collinsworth. Here's what's trending on the iHeart Sports Network, presented by DraftKings. With the first two series of the regular season already canceled, the MLB Players Association is preparing their response to the league's latest offer today. A major shocker across the women's college basketball world, the Miami Hurricanes sent Louisville home thanks to a buzzer beater. The women of Florida couldn't come away with the win in their SEC tournament game. Ole Miss managed to knock off the Gators. I'm Adam Crowley.
Download the DraftKings app and use code SPORTS to get a free shot at millions of dollars up for grabs this week with your first deposit.
Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Hey, it's your boy Johnny C here, host of Florida Talk Real Estate. They're tops when it comes to helping people buy and sell houses. But Florida Talk Real Estate is so much more than that. For 5 years, I've watched these guys help thousands of our listeners with any real estate need. They couldn't do it without their sponsors, who are experts in their fields. Check it out. Jim DePola, powered by Keller Williams Realty. Their team specializes in helping people sell their house for top dollar, and buyers get great deals on the purchase of their home. That's what they did for me and my family, and I couldn't be happier that I hired them for my real estate transaction. Mike Rao from the mortgage firm is one of our favorite guests on the show, and he is the mortgage guy. Whether you're looking for a refi or a mortgage to purchase a new home, Mike Rao will get you the answers you need. The mortgage firm is licensed to do loans in Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and they have local offices that cover all of South Florida. So if you're thinking about a refi or a new mortgage, go to the mortgage guy, Mike Rao, and find out what he can do for you. The Mortgage Firm, Inc., NMLS 189233, Florida license MLD 78, equal housing lender. The law office of Paul A. Krasker has been specializing in real estate law for nearly 25 years and has the professional team you need. Upside down with your house, Paul's team can help you conduct short sales, loan modifications, even if you're behind on payments. They also help you with foreclosure defense and bankruptcy. They can even help you get a student loan modification and repair your credit to get the score you need. Paul's full-service team has helped thousands of our listeners, and they can help you too. Trident Title LLC is the largest privately owned title company in Florida. When you need a title company to complete a refi, home purchase, or sale, Trident Title has got you covered. Not only do they offer competitive pricing, Trident Title has attorneys on staff to make sure if you have bumps in the road declaring title that you can get the job done. Beware, not all title companies in Florida have attorneys on staff. Trident Title does and complies with all the new federal regulations released last year. Ross Camaronets, owner of Brightway Insurance, has been helping our listeners get great rates on homeowners insurance plans. Haven't checked your homeowners insurance policy in a while? This is a great way to help reduce your monthly mortgage payment. Ross can also help with renters and auto insurance. Ross is only a phone call away and can usually get the answers you need same day.
Call Ross today at 561-425-6228 or drop by his office at 873 Donald Ross Road in Juno Beach.
So now you know why I'm happy to be part of the Florida Talk Real Estate Show, the longest running real estate show in Florida. And all these sponsors are just a phone call or a click away. Just call 888-973-7828. That's 888-973-7828. Or go to floridatalkrealestate.com. That's floridatalkrealestate.com. And don't forget to use the most accurate search engine to find your new home or ask for a free home valuation because floridatalkrealestate.com has you covered. That's floridatalkrealestate.com.
This is Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7. Real talk for the Palm Beaches and the Treasure Coast. This is Florida Talk Real Estate with Jim DePola and Johnny C. Got a question for the show? Call us live at 1-877-927-6969.
That's it. Toll free. In fact, I've dialed it in the past. I've dialed it recently. Trust me, it works. Why don't you give it a test? You got a question, comment, concern in the world of real estate? Dial it up. 877-927-6969. Jimothy, our producer extraordinaire, he'll line you up there, and we'll get you on the air in no time, and hopefully the answers you're looking for or get you through the concerns that you're dealing with in the world of real estate. Johnny C., well, that's me. Let's say good morning to Mike Rao, the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm. Once again, good morning to you, Mike. How are you, buddy?
Look, I'm doing well, thank you. Good morning to you. Good morning, South Florida audience.
That's what I'm talking about. Audience could be a little bit further than South Florida too there, Mike, because remember, we go on the not only the iHeartRadio app, but we go streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube, Florida Talk Real Estate on both. So who knows where they're at, right?
Well, good morning, entire audience.
That's
The
right.
entire listening and watching audience.
Good morning, world.
Boom.
Yes. Ross Camaronets is with us on this Saturday as well with Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach. What's up, Ross?
Good morning. Greetings. Since we're so worldwide, good morning, Katong, Singapore.
I think that's the one pocket that we're not hitting pretty strong.
Really?
Oh. Yeah. I'll have to work on that. Jimmy D is with us. Jim, if you can you make sure we can be loud and proud in Singapore, because I think that's one pocket of the world that we're missing at this point. That's Jim DePola. I call him Jimmy D. You can too. He'll answer to it, but Jim DePola, he runs a top producing Keller Williams team, Keller Williams Innovations. It's that Florida Home Pros team. Unmute yourself there, Jimmy D, and say good morning to Singapore if they can hear us.
Hello, happy South Florida to Singapore.
Nice.
So I wonder what time zone Singapore is, and I bet you Mike's going to look it up and tell me. Wonder what time zone it is. If they were listening right now, what time would it be, Mike?
I was looking up how to say hello, Singapore.
There you go. I knew Mike was going to be doing something related to that. I got
probably,
that.
What do they speak Chinese in Singapore?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm American. I don't know anything about geography. I'm like every American.
I don't know what their main language would be there. That's a good question. So I'm going to guess it's probably like
Singaporean?
Malay.
That's what they speak, Malay?
Malay, Mandarin, Tamil, and English.
Oh, Mandarin.
Those are the four.
There you go.
But Malay is the official language.
So it's according to Google. Almost 5 o'clock in the evening there, I'm guessing.
Oh, is that what it is? So
yes, I'm guessing.
And it looks like English is one of the main languages. So we could just say hello, Singapore. They should get it.
Hello, Singapore. Don't forget to like our YouTube page.
Thank you.
10:41 p.m. there.
Well, speaking of worldwide, that kind of slides in into the one. Okay, so we talked about the one many months ago. I think it was sometime in 2021. There was this developer guy. I think he was involved in movies for a long time, like a producer or something. He came up with this cockamamie idea that he was going to build the most expensive home in the world, and he only worked on it for 10 years. And the home was going to be, hold on, I got to get my grannies out because I'm old. The home was supposed to be, it is. I'm sorry.
Right away, I'm skeptical because I'm thinking.
It's like 21 bedrooms and 49 bathrooms in the house.
Oh, I was looking for a 2250. Sorry.
Yeah, no good for you.
No.
So
But Jim, I'm thinking about royalty throughout the ages. I mean, how many castles are still existing that have, beds and baths like that? Palaces, right? Like those things have to be priceless, Johnny. What's it's not Buckingham Palace, but what's the royal residence there in England?
Why do I know? Why are you asking me?
Well, because you know stuff.
Oh.
You're the one that went there recently.
Yeah, I you know what? I've never I've been much into the Royals.
Did you ever watch Downton Abbey? I mean, even that house on Downton Abbey has that many bedrooms.
It's like Johnny's house.
Similar. Yeah.
All right, Jim. That's enough fun. What were you saying?
Yeah. So, I'm sorry. 21 bedrooms.
More info.
21 bedrooms, 49 bathrooms. Okay. He wanted to put it as the most expensive home in the world, so he was listing his masterpiece for $500 million. Right. Of course, he wasn't selling it, and he just kept putting more and more money into the house. Right. So then he had to file bankruptcy because he couldn't pay all the debts he had on the property between the construction materials and the construction and the mortgage for the loan. So he filed bankruptcy. The bankruptcy court put it on the market and it became a worldwide auction, right? It was called Concierge Auction, is the one that put it on the market. It took them 55 days to secure an offer, and they had global interest from America to Europe, Asia, Middle East. They had people from all over the world that were making offers. So the winning bid, $125 million. That's why I call it the one quarter. Not the one anymore. It's the one quarter, right? So at 120, it actually was 126. So they're only about $129 million short of the debt that is owed on the property. So they're only about half, 50% off on the value of the home to what is owed on the property right now. So now it goes back to the courts for the judge to review if $129 million loss is acceptable to take, or he's going to say, put it back on the market again. So we'll see what happens with the one.
It reminds me of you remember the episode of The Sopranos, or maybe it was over several episodes, where you had the sporting goods guy, and they're just like, okay, start buying everything on credit. Like, we're just going to load up on inventory, and they would come in the front door and go out the back door. And the whole scheme was to bankrupt them, right? But in the meantime, basically get as much stuff as possible. It seems like it's some sort of scheme to do something like that.
Get as many bathrooms as we can.
Yeah, I need the gold-plated toilets, and then you go in there, and they've been swapped out with porcelain toilets. I mean, come on.
I know, it's so crazy what happened. And this guy last year was pushing so hard on YouTube to try to draw interest for a buyer for the property. Some of the ideas he had weren't bad. Like, when he couldn't sell it, he was like, this would be a great entertainment ground, like where you could hold events at the property all the time. Like, I could see having very high exclusive events at the property. I didn't even say where this property was. It's in California. It's in, I think it's Bel Air.
I'm thinking he may have messed up. Even like hotels, Johnny,
Bel Air.
It's probably closer to one bedroom or one bathroom per bedroom, right? Like, maybe there's some extra ones for the public bathrooms and stuff.
21 bedrooms, 49 bathrooms.
Yeah, so he doubled the bathrooms. There's something wrong there. He miscalculated.
When you get to the bigger homes, that's very common. When you get to like the larger homes, it's very common to have more than one bathroom per bedroom.
Because when you're on that long trek, across that big house, every once in a while you got to stop.
You got to have the pit stop.
You can't stop in someone else's room and be like, "Hey, can I use your facilities?"
They got snack bars too, just like rest stops, like the Turnpike. You can get yourself a Dunkin' on the way.
I know, it's so crazy.
Earl of sandwich.
So on the next segment, we're going to go into, I know we're early, but the next segment, we're going to talk about open houses. We're going to talk about the open house we have today with Scott Spainhauer. And then we're going to talk about interest rates in general. But I would like to talk about just what's going on with the economy overall for a couple of minutes, if you don't mind. So we didn't talk last week about, the Ukrainian war right now. We did not talk about that. It got a little crazier because I don't think they launched it until Thursday of last week. We were on the show Saturday, and I think Saturday, Sunday is when they started getting a lot more intense. And also we weren't sure how the world was going to react. And it's been kind of surprising how the European Union and NATO so far have held pretty tight with each other and have done a lot of things economically that isn't just hurting the Russia and the Russia oligarchs and all their and the country itself, but that is having is going to have ripple effects in Europe, which means it's going to have ripple effects over here. And I'm not just talking about the oil. The oil is going to affect us, everybody. But I'm talking about just regular stuff that you're buying, right? And right now, a lot of people were thinking that the Fed was going to change their mind of what they're trying to do. So let's put a little backdrop behind the Ukrainian conflict. So, because the reason why I'm bringing up the Ukrainian conflict, in times of war, inflation increases very fast, very quickly, and it could drag on for a while. We were already in a pretty hyperinflation situation already. We're already experiencing that. So before the Ukrainian conflict, the Fed Reserve guy, Jerome Powell, who sets bank-to-bank interest rates lending and also kind of buys mortgage-backed securities to give liquidity to the market and stabilization to the market, said this is too hyperinflation, so we have to choke it off. So they're going to start raising the bank-to-bank lending March 15th, only in a couple of days. They're going to do right now what they're saying is a 0.25% increase. And they're expecting that the next meeting is in May and the June and July. And right now they're already telling you that they're planning on do 0.25% increases each of those months right now is what they're planning on. They're not promising. But the March 15th, that's pretty much set in stone unless something crazy happens outside of our country that's affecting the economy. So it's going to be very wild. We're going to be trying to stamp down inflation while there's a pretty big world conflict going on that could affect the economy in many different ways. It's a very dynamic situation. So what Powell is saying, even though that the Ukrainian conflict is going on, they're still going to raise the interest rates because they have to tamp down this inflation. In fact, he even said that he wished he had done it sooner. He just came out yesterday saying, I wish I'd started raising the rates sooner.
Yeah, years ago.
Well, it's funny that he says that because in 2018, when they started raising the rates and the interest rate, the mortgage interest rates went very high, highest point we had in like 8 years. After he got done with that and we didn't end up having inflation, he said, like after 9 rate increases, he goes, I wish I didn't do the last 3. So this guy's, at least he's very honest. He'll tell you when he feels like he made a mistake. You know, most of these guys don't do that because now this is twice I've seen him say, I wish I had done it differently.
I don't know, Jim. To me, it seems like it's a way of kind of appeasing the people who disagree with the policy. And he's like, so he's making the move. And then he just goes back and said he tries to like soften it by saying, "Oh, we should have done this already, right? This should have been in place already. So we're making this move." And so the detractors kind of it blunts that it blunts the impact of these planned rate increases. It's almost like when I'm arguing, with my better half, and I'm like, "Oh, I should have listened. I should have listened to you from the start, right? You were right. I should have listened to you from the start. You like ease the message there, but." It's
listening to you right now.
Yeah, I do this. This is purposeful. That's what I'm saying, right? This is we had an argument. I should have listened to you from the start, babe. You were right the whole time. But it's so I don't know. So I'll be interested to see what happens if, like you said, in times of war, economic uncertainty, inflation increases, then it gives them even more reason to keep those rate increases in place. And
well, the only way that I 100% agree with you, Mike. The only way, and he did say about the war itself, it will increase inflation, and we already seen it. We already saw the gas prices going up anyway for other reasons. And now I was driving down here and I was looking at one of the gas stations that, and regular was $3.99 and the other stuff was $4.06 and higher, right? And I was reading a report recently that one part of the country, they said, finally hit $5 a gallon already. And when I was in California a couple of weeks ago, it was already $5 a gallon, right? Well into $5, not like 501, like 550.
I've seen on the news, right? They're always showing the placard from the California gas station with crazy prices, and I'm just like, come on, people. Let's to me, that's the sensationalist type of thing.
Well, yeah, much of what we pay at the pump has to do with state taxes, and you're talking about like the state tax granddaddy of them all when you're talking about California. So, yeah, if the states really cared, if they really cared about trying to lessen our effects at the pump, they'd reel all their taxes in.
But then we wouldn't
waive all these taxes right now. We're in hyperinflation.
The only problem that we have with that, Johnny, all the roads, forget about it. Everything related to roads is based on that tax. That tax is there. It's used. That tax is used.
We got federal dollars coming if they can pass the Build Back Better Act, right?
Yeah, but I don't know if that would be, that's used usually to supplement. So a lot of those federal grants, they usually try to have you match it. So they say, hey, Florida, if you want to do this with the money, we'll give you some, but you put some towards it too, a lot of it. Okay, unless it becomes like the FDR thing where it was like the work WPA and stuff, and you remember that stuff back then, where it was just there to keep people employed, right?
This
That thing wasn't really. We built a lot of stuff during that time, but really it was just to keep people employed back then. This time
this
it's more
thing
about building the infrastructure, and the jobs are a benefit as a result of that.
Yeah.
It isn't just strictly job creation.
Oh, sure, yeah, but the fact is, the states, if they really look, we're going to raise rates, right, in order to temper down inflation a little bit. There's things they could do to lessen our impact immediately, and you could adjust them accordingly, kind of get it back. But you can immediately, Floridians' impact at the pump can be changed like a light switch.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's Republican control at every level, so there's like no tug of war if they all wanted to do it. In states where you have a lot of partisan aspect, they'd have to get on the same page. But if they really wanted to say, look, we're going to help Floridians right now at the pump, they could, like a light switch, make it happen.
For me, that like the gas prices as a benchmark for economic turmoil is such a it's a facade, because there are literally puppeteers controlling the faucet on gas inventory. So yes,
it's speculation.
There's the Russia-Ukraine war invasion, but guess what? Saudi Arabia can easily just tweak the handle a little bit, and all of a sudden inventory is up, and we don't have a gas. We don't have any of these problems. So I get what you're saying, Johnny. Like these margins, Jim, that are in there on top of the crude oil, right, commodity cost. Those margins, pretty much, it's not like those things are increasing and decreasing. But Johnny's talking about that, right? Whatever the margins are on top of the crude price, but that crude price is set by inventory levels that are controlled by the puppeteers, with OPEC. I don't know if puppeteer is the right word.
Yeah.
But,
the one thing I agree about Johnny with also what he was saying is, like, I would never say that government doesn't have enough waste that we could cut stuff back and still do okay. Right. So, when I'm saying that you need it for the roads, they really do. And I know that because I've looked at the FTOD budgets locally here for the county when I was a newspaper reporter and see where the money goes, like where that money goes. Right. Well, is it spent completely wisely? No, but it's needed for sure. And I agree with you about the supply stuff right now. But here's the thing that getting back to real world, how does it affect me for like the regular people? The bottom line is the last time we were at interest rates, gas prices about this high was 2008. Right. So that was during a recession. 2008 and 2009 was the great collapse. I'm not saying we're on the verge of a great collapse. I can't remember why the prices went up that time, because it was kind of funny. Everybody was like, the Bushes are an oil family, and we had the high, because it was Bush and president at that time. And I remember people complaining, how could we have an oil baron family be in charge of the country? We were paying the highest gas prices we've ever paid. Right. I remember people complaining about that back then.
Yeah,
well,
people wanted
to confuse the fact that whoever president is has nothing to do with
right. I know I know, but I'm just saying that's what was going on. But do you remember why? The real reason why it was going up at that time? Was it that we were having a fight with Saudi Arabia and Iran? Was that the problem?
Or, I don't remember specifically. I remember there's always talk about our strategic reserve and using that to increase inventory. And to me, like the best focus is on OPEC, like lobby. You got to lobby those guys, right? You just have to get to them and say, hey, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? But I don't know. I don't know what goes into that. I don't remember. So 2008 was Bush president?
Yeah. This is at the, the end. No, he was there in 2000, 2004. He was right there. This is right at his end is when it hit 406 or 408. That was the high price.
Wasn't that like kind of the?
Oh, this was that was
the war and everything, Iraq war.
That's what I was thinking. I think it was the Iraq war, and I wanted to say that, Ross. And remember all the oil fields that were just burning and burning and burning, and they couldn't use all those oil fields. I think that was part of it. So there was a couple of factors involved. But anyway,
2008 was Obama won the presidency in 2008.
Yeah, he won the presidency in 2008, but the high price was 406 or 408, and it was right at the end of Bush's term. But they were going up for a long period of time before that, for like 8 months or something. It was going up. I don't know what's going to happen with the gas prices now, but this is what my opinion is on the gas prices. What because and we'll hit on the jobs report just real quick because we got like 1 minute before the break. So the jobs report came out, and it came out way stronger than most people predicted. We were expecting about 450,000 jobs created. We had about 680,000 jobs created. And the unemployment rate that they check every time they do this monthly report is now down to 3.8%. Through anything under 4, we're in a market that's in favor of the worker. Okay, it's a worker market right now, and they have the ability to go and get better jobs and to have job movement, and probably you're going to get a raise. Now, one thing that happened is the amount of wages, even though we had strong wage growth, and most of it was not in the what do you call it, restaurant and hospitality industry. A lot of it was professional this time. It was a lot of professional hires, like in work, professional work hires.
Like white collar?
Yeah. Well, they said professional, so I don't know if that means other types of things. I don't know, but I would assume. And what they said is that wages have only increased 0.1, 0.3, and they thought it was going to be 0.5. And they said that's a big difference. 0.3 to 0.5 is a big difference when you're talking about these numbers, and that it shows that wages are starting to flatten out if that trend continues, which would mean that inflation might not continue as strong. It's a little tiny indicator, not a decision maker, but these are the little pieces of kibble along the way on the trail that they're giving us that you keep an eye on in the long run. So very topsy-turvy economy right now. One thing I think we know for sure is that we're going to have problems with inflation. Interest rates are going to be going up, not just for your mortgages, guys. This is going to be credit cards and cars, personal loans. All of that stuff is going to start going up as we continue through the year.
As a matter of fact, Jim, those ones you just mentioned are the ones that have the direct impact from the Fed's bank-to-bank lending hike, right? So the short-term lending, so car loans, credit cards specifically, revolving style credit, personal loans, signature loans, those things are the ones going to adjustable rate loans, Johnny. Those will be impacted directly from the Fed rate increases. The mortgages, it's not direct, although long term you can expect
Are there
increases.
still a lot of arms out there?
Well, when I'm adjustable rates, there's a lot of adjustable rate lending, Ross, that's not related to mortgages, right? So credit cards, for example, are typically, well, maybe not, but I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking wrong on that.
But are there a lot of arms still or no?
Arms are out there. There's not a big market for it in the conventional lending world. So you're not doing like your conventional FHA, VA. Those are not adjustable rates, but you could still get adjustable rates if you're in the jumbo world or if you're in the non-conforming world.
Yeah, and ARM is adjustable rate mortgage for those that are not totally following along. Jim, I know we're going to take a break, but I think Pat's on hold with, I believe, a quick
I was just going to say that. I'm sorry. I didn't even see Pat's been holding for quite a while. If Pat's still on, we'd love to take the call. I apologize. I didn't see that.
Let's go ahead and do that then. Pat, thank you very much for your patience and welcome. We're on Florida Talk Real Estate. How are you?
How's it going, guys? First, I have to say, you guys got to stop with the politics because Johnny will lose his mind. I've heard it. So.
I could see Johnny, he's rolling his eyes when we start talking about some of this stuff. He's like,
you notice, Pat, that I really try to stay out of the politics because I'm not a reddy guy or a bluey guy. I just want good government. I covered as a newspaper reporter for 18 years and saw how government worked on many different levels. And nobody's perfect and nobody has all the answers. And one side is not the right side. It's there's a lot of good ideas coming from all sides. You take the best ideas from everybody. So I try to stay out of the whole thing. But Johnny, you're right. He looks like he wants to explode sometimes because he has very strong opinions.
I'm a no party affiliate. I don't wear a jersey like so many have decided to don in the last handful of years. I just can't handle stupidity.
Yeah,
I know. So my real estate question is Lake Worth, Pat, if you don't remember, or you do.
I know.
In the market to buy another property, not move, but just been shopping, and I've been shopping on Realtor.com just to see some stuff that's out and about, and some of the terminology I have a question about, and you'll see a little red box on Realtor that says pending, which is obvious, right? But some of them say contingent, and my question is on the verbiage of contingent. Does that already have an offer with a contingency on the sale, or are they letting you know that, hey, the selling of this house has a contingency in the contract?
That's a great question, Pat, because it's one of the things we talk about with our buyers when we sit down during our consultation. So let me give you the status, because there's a new status right now. So it used to be this. It used to be active, pending, and contingent. Those were the three categories if it wasn't closed, right? Then, of course, you have expired and canceled, but that's your material, right? So you have active, pending, contingent, and closed. Then they added a new category and took a category away. So now it's active, pending, active, but contingent, and closed. So they took out contingent and they put it active with contingent. Okay. So let me explain what that means. And agents don't use this correctly, Pat, just so you know. Most agents don't do this right. Okay. But your house is active. Then you go into contract. When you go into contract, you have two choices. You could either list it, the agent has to change the status on the MLS. They can either change it to pending, or they can change it to active but contingent. What's the difference? Active but contingent means that we're contingent on an offer. We're active. We're still looking for buyers, but we're under contract with somebody else. But the contract is contingent either on inspection or appraisal or both, or the homeowners association approval. It's not a solid 100% solid deal. They're going through the process to make it solid. But in the meantime, they're taking backup offers. Okay. So that allows the seller to put it under contract and still market the property to find other buyers in case the first deal falls apart. They have a second buyer backed up behind them. Okay.
Or to find just other clients in general.
Or for the realtor, but I'm talking from the seller's perspective. The seller keeps showing the property after they go into contract to find another buyer. If I'm not mistaken, Pat, I think we did that with your property when we put the house on the market. But back then, what we called it was backup offers only. Right? So.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So then pending means.
Yeah, I think that answers the question.
Yeah. And pending means everything's done. Supposedly, if they do it right, means there's no inspection, appraisal, no appraisal issue, financing issue. It's pending. We're just waiting to close.
If I were to summarize that, Jim, so it's under contract, Pat, number one. So there's already been an offer accepted, and it's just that whether or not they've passed their milestones where the buyers could kind of back out gracefully, right? So you have your inspection period, you have typically your financing and or appraisal period or kind of protection window for the buyers where they could cancel if things didn't go right there. But it is under contract, which is probably the most important question, right? Like, is it active? Can you make an offer, or is it already under contract?
Yeah, for me, shopping, when I see that, move on. There's already, a contract on it. So look for
Jim,
there's not a lot of active listings, on there. So it's a little deceiving when you search an area and it shows 400 homes in this area for sale, and you start looking through and the number of pending and contingents. There's not a lot of active homes. There's not a lot of inventory out there. That's what I'm noticing.
Pat, we talked about it last week or the week before. In Palm Beach County, we have, if you just stayed in just Palm Beach, we have 0.8 months of inventory. That means if no other house, single family home goes on the market, it would take 0.8 months to have 0 homes for sale. Now, the high out of the 6 county area we cover is 1.8 months. Normal is 6 months to 9 months. So we have no inventory, but that doesn't mean you can't buy the house. Like I said, we put 2 people under contract last week. The tricky part, though, is for seller buyers. I don't know if you're going to be using the proceeds from the sale of the home you're in now to buy the new home. That's where the trickiness, I mean, it's tricky anyway, but that makes it super tricky. And we specialize in that, as you know.
Oh yeah, you did an excellent job with the sale of my property and the juggling of the closings and which I think I've mentioned this before. You jump through hoops for the buyer, even though you were my agent. You jumped through hoops for the buyer just to ensure the sale got closed. So I understand kind of what you're saying there.
Yeah, it was all about getting the best outcome for you, Pat, and that sometimes means trying to help the other side do the right thing so we can close the right way. That's part of what this team does, is just make sure we can get her done and make sure we have happy customers. Pat, any other questions, my friend?
No, and I appreciate it. You definitely cleared up my questions, and thanks for the information. I love listening to the show. I listen every week.
Appreciate you being with us. Thank you very much, Pat, and thanks for putting your trust into the team as much as possible. You have a good rest of your weekend. Let's do a little reset. What do you say, Jimmy D? What are we going to talk about when we come back?
On the flip side, we'll talk about the open houses, and we're going to go into the interest rates and how it affects you.
There it is. Florida Talk Real Estate is the .com, your access to the entire team. We call it your one-stop real estate shop. It's real simple. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. You'll also see the hotline. You're welcome to dial that up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's answered by a live body, 888-973-7828. You'll find that hotline at FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. We also go Facebook and YouTube as well, where we go live every Saturday when we're on the radio. So another 45 minutes or so. 4-minute break. We get back at it. Tons more to get into. Thanks for being with us every Saturday right here on Real Radio.
The fine woman in your smart speaker knows what you need.
Really?
Don't ask how. Tell your smart device to play Real Radio 92.1 on iHeartRadio.
This report is streamed live on our iHeartRadio app. Download it now.
Happy Saturday, everyone. I'm CBS 12 Storm Track meteorologist Zach Covey. It's a beautiful day as high pressure continues to bring mostly sunny conditions to our area. Top out about 81 at the coastline, as warm as 85 to 86 inland. Eventually back out through the lake. Very breezy, though, with east winds 25 to 30.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Print and Marketing Services help small business print big with wide format signs and banners. Right now, get $10 off custom printed signs, banners, and posters when you spend $50 or more. Offer ends 3/26. Visit staples.com/signage for details. Staples, the working and learning store.
Hey, it's your boy Johnny C here, host of Florida Talk Real Estate. They're tops when it comes to helping people buy and sell houses. But Florida Talk Real Estate is so much more than that. For 5 years, I've watched these guys help thousands of our listeners with any real estate need. They couldn't do it without their sponsors, who are experts in their fields. Check it out. Jim DePola, powered by Keller Williams Realty. Their team specializes in helping people sell their house for top dollar, and buyers get great deals on the purchase of their home. That's what they did for me and my family, and I couldn't be happier that I hired them for my real estate transaction. Mike Rao from the mortgage firm is one of our favorite guests on the show, and he is the mortgage guy. Whether you're looking for a refi or a mortgage to purchase a new home, Mike Rao will get you the answers you need. The mortgage firm is licensed to do loans in Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and they have local offices that cover all of South Florida. So if you're thinking about a refi or a new mortgage, go to the mortgage guy, Mike Rao, and find out what he can do for you. The Mortgage Firm, Inc., NMLS 189233, Florida license MLD 78, equal housing lender. The law office of Paul A. Krasker has been specializing in real estate law for nearly 25 years and has the professional team you need. Upside down with your house, Paul's team can help you conduct short sales, loan modifications, even if you're behind on payments. They also help you with foreclosure defense and bankruptcy. They can even help you get a student loan modification and repair your credit to get the score you need. Paul's full-service team has helped thousands of our listeners, and they can help you too. Trident Title LLC is the largest privately owned title company in Florida. When you need a title company to complete a refi, home purchase, or sale, Trident Title has got you covered. Not only do they offer competitive pricing, Trident Title has attorneys on staff to make sure if you have bumps in the road declaring title that you can get the job done. Beware, not all title companies in Florida have attorneys on staff. Trident Title does and complies with all the new federal regulations released last year. Ross Camaronets, owner of Brightway Insurance, has been helping our listeners get great rates on homeowners insurance plans. Haven't checked your homeowners insurance policy in a while? This is a great way to help reduce your monthly mortgage payment. Ross can also help with renters and auto insurance. Ross is only a phone call away and can usually get the answers you need same day.
Call Ross today at 561-425-6228 or drop by his office at 873 Donald Ross Road in Juno Beach.
So now you know why I'm happy to be part of the Florida Talk Real Estate Show, the longest running real estate show in Florida. And all these sponsors are just a phone call or a click away. Just call 888-973-7828. That's 888-973-7828. Or go to floridatalkrealestate.com. That's floridatalkrealestate.com. And don't forget to use the most accurate search engine to find your new home or ask for a free home valuation because floridatalkrealestate.com has you covered. That's floridatalkrealestate.com.
This is WZZR FM, West Palm Beach, Real Radio 92.1, powered by the law offices of Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Been in an accident? Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. This is Florida Talk Real Estate with Jim DePola and Johnny C. Got a question for the show? Call us live at 1-877-927-6969.
Yeah, that's toll free, and we got plenty of time for you. If you got questions, comments, concerns in the world of real estate, do not be shy. Dial that up, 877-927-6969. Jimothy will get you here on hold, and we'll get you on the air. Get everything handled for you. At least I hope so. If we can't get the answers you're looking for immediately on air, well, we'll reach out to a valuable member of the Florida Talk Real Estate team to make sure you get the right answer and make sure you're on the right path for whatever you got going on. Johnny C., that's me. Good morning, Mike Rao, the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great this morning. Thank you.
Speaking of valuable members of the team, I got a couple of them right here. Ross Camaronets with Brightway Insurance in Juno Beach. Hello to you, Ross.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Greetings.
And salutations. I noticed you don't have your Brightway sign behind you. We have a different location today?
Same location, different office.
Different office.
My back, I kind of messed up my back last week, so sitting kind of stinks. So I'm on the tail end of it. So I'm in my office where I can stand.
How's laying down?
Laying down's okay. It's just when I sit.
It's the sitting sucks. Well, that's good. So you can avoid that a little bit. Just stand, right?
That's
Plus,
right.
you feel all energized when you're standing on the radio, don't you?
Yeah. No, I'd prefer to stand. I like standing. Like
You need one of them.
Goes up and down. So.
Yeah, what's it called? Like the Veridesk or the adjustable height desk or something like that? You have one of those?
Yeah, man. It just kind of the whole desk moves up and down.
Don't go down too far.
Oh, that's fancy. It's electric.
Nice. I got to get me one of those.
Yeah, those are trick. And let's say good morning to Jim DePola, ladies and gentlemen. I call him Jimmy D. He's with Keller Williams Innovations. He runs a top producing team there. That's the Florida Home Pros team. Now, you're not going to see his desk going up and down, but still has a nice background there. Looking sharp there, Jimmy D. How are you, my friend?
Thanks, man. Thanks. I got a listing appointment right after this today, as soon as the show's done. So I'm going to be super busy. I wanted to go over the open house that we're going to have today. Scott Spainhauer is going to be out there. It's at 152 Southwest Pilsner Circle in Port St. Lucie. It's a really nice 4-bedroom, 2-bath home. It's got a really good living space, 2-car garage, CBS construction, 2,500 square feet under living square feet, almost 3,200 square feet under roof. It was built in 2006, so this is a nice sturdy home. It's nicely upgraded, and it's on the market for $450,000. We almost had it under contract last weekend, but no cigar to the buyer. So now this is somebody else's opportunity to come out and check this house out. Scott will be there from 11 o'clock to 2 p.m. Over at 152 Southwest Pilsner Circle in Port St. Lucie. If you want to check it out, go to our Facebook page and you can see the listing there and the information on the open house. You also can go on our YouTube channel and see the property with a video that we put together about the house itself. Okay, let me see here. I was kind of surprised that Scott didn't call in today. I hope he's okay because he texted me this morning and said he'd be calling in. I'm sorry?
I said, I think I'm on the air right now. You took my thunder away, man.
Oh, I had no idea, Scott, because I didn't see a thing that you were waiting on the side. I'm glad you're here. I was wondering what the heck happened. Sorry about that. I had no idea. Oh, I see. I'm seeing on the chat now. It's on hold, but for some reason it didn't pop out. So, Scott, can you tell me a little bit more about the house?
Hey, you described it well. I'll let you do my work and help me as much as you want. Anytime, my man.
It's not a gated community, right?
No, not a gated community. This is a good opportunity for people that are trying to find more house for their money, but they can't find it down in Palm Beach County or maybe even Broward County. It's located in the southernmost part of Port St. Lucie off of the Becker Road exit. It's actually a little closer, about a mile and a half from the front door to when you're getting onto the turnpike. And it only takes about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on traffic, and you're in central Palm Beach County. So if you're having trouble finding a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, CBS home built in 2006 in a no HOA neighborhood, plenty of room to build a pool, it's a great opportunity where it's just a little bit of a short commute, and you can get a lot more house for your money versus Palm Beach County. And again, it's 152 Southwest Pilsner Circle, and I'll be out there this morning, guys, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Thank you for reminding me about the Becker Road exit, Scott, because I forgot about that. That's really, really important, people, as far as if you're priced out, like Scott said. So I've been driving from basically Okeechobee Boulevard in West Palm on the turnpike up to exit 142 in Port St. Lucie since January 7th, 2012. Okay, when we started this show, I've been driving up there forever, 10 years now. So I know that from Okeechobee Boulevard to the exit 142 exit in Port St. Lucie Boulevard is about, without traffic, is about 43 minutes. Now the Becker Road exit is probably saving you about 9 minutes or so. So you really could, without traffic, get down to West Palm from Port St. Lucie in this exit probably in about 35 minutes. Right? So that really is not a bad commute, people. I know people sometimes think, oh my God, Port St. Lucie. But I can tell you that, Mike, if you were to drive from your house out in the acreage area and you wanted to go to the beach, how long is it going to take you to drive there? About a
35
half hour.
Yeah, 35 minutes, something like
Yep,
that.
about a half hour, right?
And it's about, I'm like, 15 miles away, something like that, 13 miles.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is like almost everything in Florida is at least a half hour.
Yeah.
No matter where you are, you east, west, whatever. So driving a half hour from Port St. Lucie down to, let's say, West Palm, a half hour, 40 minutes, it really isn't that much of a difference, probably, if you think it out, for most people's commute if they were living in Palm Beach County and going to work in Palm Beach County, for most people. So 35 minutes, 40 minutes is not the end of the world. And you can save so much money compared to Palm Beach County for that distance issue. And the other benefit is that you get more housing stock value for the price. So, check it out. 152 Southwest Pilsner. It's on our Facebook page. Scott will be there. Go say hello to him. He'll be there from 11 to 2. Scott, is there anything else going on with that?
No, let me ask you something, Jim. Just spitballing here. Let's take Johnny C's neighborhood out in Royal Palm. It's a no HOA neighborhood. If you took this house at 152 Southwest Pilsner, that's priced at $450, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,600 square feet under area roughly, and you drop this same exact house in let's say La Mancha and Royal Palm Beach.
Well,
what do you think?
Well, first of all, you couldn't really. Well, if it was in La Mancha, right? If it's in the La Mancha area, it would probably be in the mid to upper fives, probably, right? So about 100,000 more.
I was thinking
to maybe $125 on a top dollar day, right? So you're saving a lot of money there, and it's affordability is an issue, which we're going to get into in just a little bit, Scott. So do me a favor, sell that house.
You got it, guys. Hey, have a great rest of the show.
Okay, thanks. Hey, I just want to talk about another listing that we have. We have a property up in the Colonnades in Fort Pierce. We thought that property was sold a couple of days ago, and then we were dealing with a broker, not even a realtor, but an actual broker who doesn't understand contracts and didn't really handle this very well. But that's a whole nother story about hiring good agents versus bad agents. So the house did not go under contract. So this is a great 2-bedroom, 2-bath in a 55-plus community that's surrounded by water. It's such a great place. I know that Johnny's family had lived in that community for many, many years. And that area is a very big up-and-coming area. The other thing that's great about this 2-2 in Fort Pierce in the Colonnades, it's called 1176 Bayshore, is that it is immediately rentable for anybody that wants to rent it, as long as they get the condo board approval for the rental. Nothing less than 3 months. And I think that means that you might only be able to rent it out 3 times a year max, but we'd have to check with the condo board on that. The house has been nicely updated. They broke out the kitchen, which is unusual for a lot of these 55 and over condos in this community. They broke up the kitchen, which is really nice because they have more countertop space, and it opens up into the living room, dining room area. And the air conditioning, I think, was replaced just a few months ago. And it has impact windows everywhere. So this is a great unit with great value. We're only asking $225,000 for the unit. So if you're interested, please give us a call. We've been getting a lot of action on that property because we do a lot of advertising up north through our social media. We must have had like 70 people express interest on this property, but we just haven't found the right buyer yet. So if you're interested in a budget affordable place to live down in Florida, either as a part-time, use it as a rental part-time, and then live it in part-time, or you just want to live there, give us a call. Johnny, you're on mute.
Remember, Florida Talk Real Estate is at .com, and you'll see the hotline, 888-973-7828. It's all there. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com, your one-stop real estate shop. Remember, Facebook and YouTube as well. Florida Talk Real Estate on both. Ton of information to consume, including details for the open house today with Scott in Port St. Lucie, 11 to 2, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm going to tell you a little funny story because this doesn't happen every day, and then we're going to take a break, and then we're going to get into interest rates and the interesting week I had and how it's a lot of it's involving interest rates. But got a call this week from somebody who asked me a question. I don't want to go into the long drawn out story, but it's pretty funny. But they asked me, "Hey Jim," this is basically what they asked me. If the police found a dead body in the backyard of my house, is that going to affect my real estate values on the house when I sell it? So when the person asked me this, I actually thought they were joking, right? So as I'm talking to the person, they kept bringing it back to, no, really, if there's a body buried in the backyard, will it affect your real estate value when you go to sell the property? So finally, after the third time, I said, you're kidding, right? And they were like, no, that really happened. Didn't I tell you about this? And I'm like, no, you didn't tell me about this. So
Are
apparently,
we talking human body?
that's my first question, Mike. Thank you so much. My first question was, a human body? And they said yes.
Wow.
Grandma,
I'm
keep
loving
getting the
this. It
Social
wasn't
Security
even
checks.
Halloween. I'm loving this story, right? So what ended up happening is apparently there was a rental unit in the back of the property and somebody was renting it out. And I don't know the whole story yet because I just found out about this last week, earlier this week. But I'm going to look it up. But apparently somehow the police found out that there was a body buried in the backyard, and they had everybody go out there and unbury the body. So I asked the person I was talking to was a relative of the homeowner of the property, so it wasn't even the homeowner. But I said to him, so I go, how the heck did the body get back there? Who buried it? And they go, well, we don't know, but we think it was the renter. But the renter is saying she doesn't know how the body got in the backyard, and she hasn't been arrested yet. So my question to you guys is, we'll leave off on this right now. This is how we'll leave off the show. Do you have to disclose whether you had a dead body illegally buried in your backyard with an open criminal investigation as how the guy got there? Do you have to disclose that or not? We're going to talk about that on the flip side.
We'll find out the answer to that one in 4 minutes from now. In the meantime, write it down, FloridaTalkRealEstate.com, your one-stop real estate shop. If you need it, you know somebody that can benefit from this team of pros, please share it with them. You can change their lives. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. You'll find the hotline, 888-973-7828, right there at FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. On Facebook and YouTube as well. Know it, use it, love it, share it. It's Florida Talk Real Estate. 4 minutes from now, we're back at it. And we're gonna find out. You have to disclose that information or not? I'm thinking yes. We'll find out together. Florida Talk Real Estate, right here on Real Radio.
Got something to say?
I got something to say.
Text us at 47142. Start your message with Real Radio. Standard data and message rates apply, and don't text while driving.
From the Gordon and Partners Weather Center. Have you or a loved one been injured through no fault of your own? Call 561-333-3333 or go to fortheinjured.com.
Happy Saturday, everyone. I'm CBS 12 Storm Track meteorologist Zach Tovey. It's a beautiful day as high pressure continues to bring mostly sunny conditions to our area. We'll top out about 81 at the coastline and as warm as 85 to 86 inland, especially back out through the lake. Very breezy, though, with east winds 25 to 30.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples has the tools your business needs to get work done no matter where. Right now, save up to $100 on select chairs, so your home office has everything your office has. In-store only offer ends 3/5 while supplies last. Explore what's new at Staples, the working and learning store.
Hey, it's your boy Johnny C here, host of Florida Talk Real Estate. They're tops when it comes to helping people buy and sell houses. But Florida Talk Real Estate is so much more than that. For 5 years, I've watched these guys help thousands of our listeners with any real estate need. They couldn't do it without their sponsors, who are experts in their fields. Check it out. Jim DePola, powered by Keller Williams Realty. Their team specializes in helping people sell their house for top dollar, and buyers get great deals on the purchase of their home. That's what they did for me and my family, and I couldn't be happier than I am for my real estate transaction. Mike Rao from the mortgage firm is one of our favorite guests on the show, and he is the mortgage guy. Whether you're looking for a refi or a mortgage to purchase a new home, Mike Rao will get you the answers you need. The mortgage firm is licensed to do loans in Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and they have local offices that cover all of South Florida. So if you're thinking about a refi or a new mortgage, go to the mortgage guy, Mike Rao, and find out what he can do for you. The Mortgage Firm, Inc., NMLS 189233, Florida license MLD 78, equal housing lender. The law office of Paul A. Krasker has been specializing in real estate law for nearly 25 years and has the professional team you need. Upside down with your house, Paul's team can help you conduct short sales, loan modifications, even if you're behind on payments. They also help you with foreclosure defense and bankruptcy. They can even help you get a student loan modification and repair your credit to get the score you need. Paul's full-service team has helped thousands of our listeners, and they can help you too. Trident Title LLC is the largest privately owned title company in Florida. When you need a title company to complete a refi, home purchase, or sale, Trident Title has got you covered. Not only do they offer competitive pricing, Trident Title has attorneys on staff to make sure if you have bumps in the road declaring title that you can get the job done. Beware, not all title companies in Florida have attorneys on staff. Trident Title does and complies with all the new federal regulations released last year. Ross Camaronets, owner of Brightway Insurance, has been helping our listeners get great rates on homeowners insurance plans. Haven't checked your homeowners insurance policy in a while? This is a great way to help reduce your monthly mortgage payment. Ross can also help with renters and auto insurance. Ross is only a phone call away and can usually get the answers you need same day.
Call Ross today at 561-425-6228 or drop by his office at 873 Donald Ross Road in Juno Beach.
So now you know why I'm happy to be part of the Florida Talk Real Estate Show, the longest running real estate show in Florida. And all these sponsors are just a phone call or a click away. Just call 888-973-7828. That's 888-973-7828. Or go to floridatalkrealestate.com. That's floridatalkrealestate.com. And don't forget to use the most accurate search engine to find your new home or ask for a free home valuation because floridatalkrealestate.com has you covered. That's floridatalkrealestate.com.
This is Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7. Real talk for the Palm Beaches and the Treasure Coast. This is Florida Talk Real Estate with Jim DePola and Johnny C. Got a question for the show? Call us live at 1-877-927-6969.
That's it. You have just about 25 minutes remaining on this Saturday. If you want to get in with a question, comment, concern in the world of real estate, I suggest you pick up that phone, dial 877-927-6969. And if you're not comfortable on the air, totally understand. Just go to floridatalkrealestate.com. You can call the hotline there, 888-973-7828. You can call it without going to the website, 888-973-7828. But it'll be posted there at floridatalkrealestate.com. Answered 24 hours a day, 7 days a week by a live body. We'll get you connected to the pros pro you're looking for and get you handled appropriately. That is the one-stop real estate shop, floridatalkrealestate.com. Johnny C, well, that's me. Good morning, Ross Camaronets with Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach. How are you, buddy?
I'm well. You know that's right. Hey guys, just real quick, I wanted to say I'm still raising, doing that big paddleboard crossing, still raising some money. If you can visit my Facebook page, check it out, throw me $1, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. So what date is that? I was going to ask you about that, Russ. What date is that?
The actual event is June 26th. So
June what day?
June 26th.
June 26th. Okay, so we're a couple months out. Ross is doing it for cystic fibrosis, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he's going to be paddleboarding from the Bimini's to Lake Worth?
Yes, sir.
81 miles.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God, I keep thinking of Jaws. So I think we need a bigger paddleboard.
How's your fundraising going so far, Ross? Have we had a little bit of support?
I mean, I got a number, but I want to get to a different number, so just trying to get there.
Yeah, we want to earn as much as we possibly can. Now, I know we did have once or twice, maybe 3 times, a link at Florida Talk Real Estate's Facebook page, which will connect you to Ross. You can find it on there, or maybe we can bump it up a little bit.
Yeah,
hey, nice and easy to find. Go ahead, Jim. Go ahead.
In-house, sorry, I didn't mean to step on you. In-house creations. Make sure that you go on our Facebook page and refresh pin. In fact, just pin Ross's post up to our Facebook page, so it's always at the top of the page right now.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. And then, look, if you have a moment this weekend or Monday, We have a little bit of time, but it would be great if we can just keep pushing that bar a little higher and higher. Ross isn't going to stop reaching out and letting folks know that this is happening. The more money we can raise, the better. And if everybody gives $1,
that's all I need. Just $1.
Yeah, we'll make a ton of money for a great cause. And Ross is, he's laid himself out there, 81 miles on a paddleboard for a great cause. So if he can do that, we can all dig down and at least donate $1, $5, $10, whatever you can do. But if we all give $1, man, we'll get a big, big, big number. Right? Mike Rao, I know the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm. The first time we talked about it, he went on Facebook like while we're on the air. He's like, boom, just made a donation. It was really simple. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. Thank you. Yeah, I have one of those personalities. If I don't just knock it out, I'll kind of like put it off and then I'll forget about it. So I did it right there from our team at the the mortgage firm, Boynton Beach, and yeah. So definitely get on there, hit it.
Streamlined process. Even Mike did it while he was on the radio. I mean,
yeah,
talk about he did it, and it took him like 4 minutes.
Just don't do it while you're driving. Just don't do that.
Don't do it while you're driving.
Just don't do it while you're driving.
So, Jimmy D's with us as well. Hold on, Jim. Hold on, brother. You got to get a proper introduction. I call him Jimmy D. You call him Jim DePola. Call him Jimmy D if you like. Just make sure you call him when you're looking to buy or sell your next home. He runs a top producing Keller Williams team, y'all. It's the Florida Home Pros team with Keller Williams Innovations. Jimmy D, how you be?
Hey, now let me ask you: is the volume better now?
What do you mean by?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Mike,
it doesn't look like it's
saying
kicking
my
back.
reverb. It's bad.
No, not right now.
Okay, Mike, you sounds like okay.
Yeah, it's I think when you're talking, Jim, we get the reverb through Jimothy. So I'm thinking it's got something to do with your setup. So I was suggesting that you just lower your speaker volume.
Okay.
Yeah,
sorry
great
about that,
now.
guys. So I want to, because we only got about 20 minutes left, so we got a lot. Everybody can hear me okay?
Yeah.
We got about 20 minutes left, so I want to blow through the dead body first, and then we're going to go into news, okay? So
Jim, you get in a lot of trouble if you start connecting blowing and dead bodies. It's just not a good look, buddy. Not a good look.
There you go. So before the break, we talked about a guy who called us up that said they found out that there was I'm ignoring that, Mike. They said there was a dead body in the backyard of their house. The police found it. They dug it up. Investigation's kind of still open as to who put the dead body in the backyard and why the dead body was in the backyard. Does that affect the property value? And do you have to legally disclose that?
So I'll tell you what, if I knew Jimmy Hoffa was buried in my backyard, I'm going to scream it from the mountaintops, and I guess it would affect probably the right way my property value.
I guess. Do we know who is buried there? I guess that is the main question, Johnny.
I didn't think the conversation was going to go that way. You guys surprised me.
So I think you could have negative and or positive impacts. I really do.
And I like the angle that it's kind of mysterious. It's almost like you could say aliens buried a dead body in my backyard, which would be pretty sensational.
That happened to me when I was in high school.
My real answer,
prove it didn't.
Yeah, exactly. You can't prove it was an alien. But Jimmy, the fact you said an interesting word, which made me think, yes, you do have to disclose. You said active investigation. And so if there's a chance that police are coming knocking on your door, you probably have to, after you buy the home, you probably need to disclose that. I would say.
Well, what I'm thinking
you probably don't, and I'm sorry, Jim, but you probably don't have a say on whether they come back and completely excavate your backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I like is like when you're usually looking at houses that have a septic system. So buyers always ask you, hey, where's the septic tank on the property? You always look for the greenest part if it's got grass, the greenest part of the yard, because that's probably where the septic tank is. I wonder if that's the same thing with the dead body. It's like good fertilizer. So it's like real green right there, like it's a septic tank.
So I was always taught that you put the dead bodies in the septic tank.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah. What's that smell? Oh no, that's our drain field.
So it's septic.
I used to take mine to my buddy's pig farm.
We're being very morose, and it isn't even Halloween. So the answer is, drum roll, please. And I'm not an attorney. Okay, is you do not have to disclose because you don't have to disclose that there was a dead body in your backyard. You don't have to disclose dead people. Like if somebody died in the house, you don't have to disclose that. People think you have to disclose that kind of stuff.
You have to disclose the ongoing investigation in your backyard,
I don't
don't
know
you?
because it isn't affecting the unless I don't know if it's materially affecting the property. Like I guess if it was affecting the property that it couldn't be sold or something, that would be different. But right now, the way I described it, because we don't know what happened in this case, I'm just saying, hypothetically, the person in the backyard is not legally connected to this property itself. They just happen to be buried in the backyard of the property, right?
Wait,
So
they're not on
probably they
title?
don't have any claim on the property. So if somebody were to sell it, the police already removed the body, right? The body's gone, right? So I don't think that the seller has to disclose anything. I
Should
think
you
they
be
just sell the
prepared
property.
when you're doing your open house? Should you be prepared to answer the question of why there's like the police line do not cross yellow tape running through the back between the palm trees?
I know, right?
But I can't imagine.
Anyway,
I can't imagine they come in and like put it back in a similar state, right? I mean, maybe they do, but I would also think they'd be like, why is your backyard all dug up?
Yeah, I don't think they put it back because, like, if they go in the house and they ransack a house or something, or let's
They
say
didn't
you
count
get
it.
pulled over by a car, cop, and you're driving and think you have drugs and they rip your car apart,
Yeah.
they don't put it back for you.
Oh, trust me, I know. No, they don't. No, they
Trust
don't.
me, you know.
Ross, if the police come and dig up your backyard to exhume a body and excavate, can I make an insurance claim to get somebody in there to put it back so I could plant some new sod?
Yeah.
Well, like landscaping and things like that are only really covered up to like $500. So,
My deductible.
Yeah, and then you got your deductible.
And I'm on the claim blacklist.
That's right. I would probably advise you not to file the claim in this scenario. I don't know if it's going to meet your deductible, and
Probably bury another dead body.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, let's switch over. Because we got about 15 minutes. So let's switch over to what's going on with interest rates. Okay. This is a big deal because the interest rates are going to be a very big indicator, in my opinion, as to what's going on with inflation. So now it isn't just whether interest rates are rising, but probably the reason why the interest rates are rising are affecting us on a lot of different levels. We already went on the big macro look on the last segment, talking about what was happening in the national economy. But now we're just going to be talking about interest rates and how it affects buyers and sellers in the current market. So, so the first thing that's happened is we have seen a little tiny bit of reprieve of the fast interest rate increases. And so let me just cap off where we kind of were. In December, we were at 3.1. And then by the third week or fourth week in January, we hit 3.92. And then we went to 389, and now we're at 376. Okay, so we went down from 392 to 376. From the high of the year was 392. We're at 376 right now. However, the reason why they said that happened is because of the Ukrainian conflict. They would have expected the interest rates to either stay flat at the 389 or go up a little bit. But the Ukrainian conflict is what some economists are saying caused the dip. But they're also saying don't expect that to last too long. It might last for a little bit of time, but the march towards higher interest rates, we're on that path right now. Okay, so we're
could call
getting a
that the
little
March
break
march?
here. I'm sorry, Mike.
The March?
Yeah, the marching in March, right? Exactly. So that's like what's happening right now in the interest rates. Now, the other thing, the effect of this is kind of interesting. So there was a report that just came out from Inman News. Inman News is a real estate-driven news organization. It's almost like the Associated Press wire for the Associated Press for just real estate. If you think about it like that, Associated Press, they sell their articles to all over the country to other newspapers. So Inman is saying that the mortgage stuff, Mike, they're saying loan activity dropped 11%, which is the fastest rate of decline since 2019. And that refis were also down like 30-something percent.
Yeah.
They're
saying that's separate from the 11% loan activity drop?
Mm-hmm. Like the
So they're saying
refis
the
are in the
mortgage,
30s are dropping the 30s, and that the loan applications are down 11%.
Okay. Are they separating like purchase applications versus refi applications? So purchases are down 11%. Is that?
They're saying purchase applications are down 11%.
Okay. All right.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
I mean,
actually it says loan activity. Do you know what that would mean? This is from Adam Data Solutions.
I mean, to me, loan activity would be general loan applications, right? So
That's
loan
what I'm
applications
thinking.
are
The
down
applications. That's what
overall.
I think.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, certainly
so what we're
refi.
seeing is, so this is what I found to be interesting in this. Okay, is what they said is that that was for the quarter. That was for the fourth quarter of last year. That's before the interest rates started going up.
Yes.
So we were seeing declines in loan applications even before we had this big jump. So what that tells me is that's another little piece of kibble on the trail of where we're going that we're going to have to watch to see if that continues. Now, we just had a drop in the interest rates, so what I would expect is that we're going to see next week saying, hey, there's the interest, because the interest rates dropped, we've seen a little bit more activity in either refis and or home loan applications is what I'm expecting. But we'll see. Mike is kind of not sure about that.
You say a drop. The drop week over week was very, it was minimal in my world, and so like the rates that you end up getting haven't dropped enough where people who were looking at refi in October, November, December, even, we're not back to that level, right? So if you were still considering refi at the end of 2021, you may have been priced out where that refinance makes sense. Well, you're still priced out. I mean, we haven't gone back to those levels, Jim, and I don't know that we're heading back there. So that's interesting. If they're saying 30% reduction,
it was 23%, Mike. I'm sorry.
23% through quarter 4 of 2021. That has fallen off the map at this point. That refi activity has to be so far down from those numbers because we had essentially almost a full point increase, right, Jim? So it's from 3 to 4%.
Exactly.
Right? Pretty much.
Exactly.
So it just prices out a lot of refi people.
So what we're going to see, what does this mean? What are we going to see in the next quarter, right? Are we going to see this trend to continue? And if that happens, how's that going to affect inventory on market? How's it going to affect prices? Is the amount of buyers, this is going to be the big question, is the amount of buyers that are going to be walking away because the interest rates got higher, is that going to affect the buyer, the seller's market, the strong seller's market? Is that going to put a chink in the armor and it's going to get a little weaker? That's going to be the big, $1 million question there. We don't know the answer to that. Nobody knows. We're just going to have to watch it and see how it plays out. There's so many ways that this can go down, but it's really so these interest rates, people are very sensitive to the interest rates right now. Back, Mike, when we were at like 2.9 to 3.3, 3.4, if something went up to 3.6, it wasn't like the end of the world. No, I mean, people didn't like it. I didn't get my 3.4. I got my 3.6, but they weren't complaining. But now I bet you people are starting to complain a little bit.
Yeah, you get, especially like buyers. I'll just talk about buyers as an example. So if you've been out there shopping for several months, Jim, you have seen a significant increase in the interest rate over those several months, and that has directly impacted what you qualify for, or kind of the max that you qualify for. And so if you were shopping for, your price zone was 400,000 back in November and you weren't able to find it because of all of these, right, buyers, it's hard on buyers right now. So you might still be shopping and you have been priced out of that $400,000 price point. So now maybe you're looking at 375 or 365 or whatever it is, simply because the rates have increased. And
Well,
so that,
Mike, the reality too, while this is happening, the homes you were looking at, at 350 are now worth 400. Like the the prices have continued to go up even as you're losing buying power for people that are maxed out at what they can afford.
We're defying gravity. I call it the defying gravity phase. What goes up must go up. So, yeah, so that's exactly what's happening, Mike.
And even Jim's $1 million question, which is the fact that interest rates are on the rise going to ultimately make inventory increase, right? Which is the only solution to our kind of the price increases leveling off or even coming down. Is just you have to have more inventory on the market. The good news is, yeah, maybe that's a likely scenario that as increases in interest rates, buyers get priced out at certain points, and so you lose people at this higher price point, so your price has to come down, right, to get eyeballs on your home. The problem is, as a buyer, you have not made up any ground. So yes, the price has come down, interest rates have come up, and so you end up with that same payment, even though you're paying less for the home. So it's not like a great outlook for buyers as far as like predicting a downturn.
That gives me that I wanna kind of wrap up with this one thing, but about this subject. It's very common to me that people come to me and say, "Man, I sold my neighbor down the street. They sold their house in 2020, and boy, did they lose a lot of money, right? Because of the appreciation that happened since 2020 till today." But this is what people don't get about that. My first question to them is, my first answer to that is, or response would be, well, it is. I say, well, possibly they lost potential money, but did they buy a new home? Because if they did, they probably are better off that they did it in 2020 than 2022. So let me explain why, right? So this is just showing you that just looking at individual things, it can cloud your judgment and make you make maybe not the best decision financially for your situation. So let's say that somebody bought a house for $100,000 in 2020, okay, and then they took the profit from that, and it was big. They had a lot of equity or something, and then they ended up buying a better home for them, whatever better means, downsize, upsize, whatever. But they put a huge down payment. And now they have a very affordable loan and they're locked in with their new house. Now we cut to 2022 and that same house that they sold, maybe let's say instead of 100 is selling for 130, 135 now, 35% higher, right? But if they were selling it today, they'd be paying they'd be getting 135 for their sale. But let's say that the new home they wanted to buy was a $200,000 home with a big deposit. I'm just making up numbers here. But now you're going to be paying 35% more than $200,000, or you're paying 35% more for your new house in today's market. So you're waiting to make more money on the house, but then you're going to pay more. But here's how you lose money on that. You're going to be paying a higher interest rate because in 2020, you might be at 3.2. Now you might be at 4.2. So you made more money on your house, but you also paid more money for the house that you're buying, and you're paying the higher interest rate. That's why I'm saying this is such a confusing market right now. Now, if the person was selling the house and not buying a new home, then yeah, if they waited longer, most probably they would have made more money. That might not have fit their lifestyle or whatever, but they would have made more money. But you can't just make that assumption without knowing all the stuff that's involved. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, my question is, so the general wisdom would be sell high, buy low, right? So how do you execute that overall game plan when you need a place to live? What's the answer to that?
Well, we're going to go into this in detail next week, but I was going to try to squeeze it in, but I'm not going to be able to. But I'm just going to give you a little hint. Okay. There's a lot of people out there right now that are trying to buy a house and they're looking for a non-fixer upper, and it's just within reach of their budget, but barely, and they keep getting beat out by stronger offers because they're given everything they got, but it's not enough. One of the ways, and Natalie Medina Rao, one of her top agents on her team, she has a very good perspective on this, which she's telling those customers, you may be better off buying a fixer upper at a lower price and put the value into the house after you close, if you could afford to do it that way, because that way you're paying undervalue. You have less competition because less people want to buy the house. You go in and fix it up, you're going to get the full brand, full renovated value of the house, which is probably going to be more than your construction. And yes, you're going to have to take a little bit of headache and elbow grease to actually do the rebuild, however big or small that is. But you'll probably leverage that into more equity in the house, as opposed to paying above appraised value for a house that is, quote, fixed up and turnkey ready. So instead of paying above value and fighting everybody else out, you might be able to zig when everybody else is zagging and try to get the fixer-upper. And, and our team is capable of getting you with the right contractors for the right answers, whatever price point you're at, right? So if you're looking at a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,200 square foot renovation, or you're looking at, you're buying the house for $1.5 million, you're tearing it down and building a new home, we have everybody in between that can do that for you if you want, so you can get real numbers. You're on mute, Johnny. You're up.
Muted. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. I'm trying to. I think I might figure it out. My microphone may be our feedback issue, which I don't know if anybody else hears, but I might have to get some headphones going on my side. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com, y'all. Call it the one-stop real estate shop for a reason. You have pros. It's a team of an amazing team of professionals in their field that work together cohesively. And as Jim even noted, they have resources. Like if you're in a situation where you're trying to buy a fixer-upper, you got to know your numbers. You got to know how it's going to work out. And it may, but you got to have the right contractors that are going to give you reliable quotes that you can depend on. This is just one example of this team, the resources that they have. They can reach out to many different people. Remember, FloridaTalkRealEstate.com on Facebook, on YouTube as well. Soak up all those videos, lots of information to be had. And we give you 2 hours of infotainment every single Saturday. And we thank you for being with us. Mike Rao, I hope you have a great weekend. Ross Camaronets, please do the same.
Thank you. I'm going to do my best. I hope you do too.
Say goodbye,
I'm
Mike.
back. Sorry. Goodbye, everybody.
And Jimmy D, good luck at the listing appointment today. Always nice to see you, my friend.
Thank you. Just to wrap up, John, one of our Facebook fans just said that on WPTV, they just arrested a man for burying a person in a septic tank in Port St. Lucie.
Oh, well.
Like brand new, hot off the presses. So there you go, Mike.
Guess I got to change that up a little bit. Thank you for being with us. Stick around. You got the locker room, Joe and Greek, Jimothy. They're going to take you for the next 4 hours, and we'll see you next Saturday. Florida Talk Real Estate right here on Real Radio.